Hello everyone. Let's continue again with the example with the student's knowledge base. We have, in the previous video, we have looked at question A. Let's have a look at question B. What are you required to do? You are required to add to your knowledge base the following information. The degree course in which the 3 students are enrolled. So this referred to Doreen, Sherif and Virginia. Of course, we've added a few more students since then. So we want to be able to say something like, Doreen is studying BIT. Sherif is studying BIS. How do we do that? Well, one option would be to modify this predicate. So here, you might want to add another information, but we don't want to do that. We want to add another predicates without modifying the predicate student. So what I'm going to do is to add another predicate. Okay, add. So this is a comment, yeah. Add the predicate study. So what do we want to do? We want to say something like study, the name of the student. Now, of course, you might want to think whether you should use the name or you should use the ID, or let's say this would be the student ID. So perhaps you would want to use the student ID rather than the name. Maybe there's a mistake in the name. Maybe the student changes the name, but the IDs will be the ones that will remain. So this student, we can say, studies BIT. You might want to add there the year of the enrollment if you look at C. So maybe we want to add that information since that is, again, information that might not change. So let's say that these students joined in 2011. Let's add now the predicate study for number 2, the ID 2. This is Sherif. So we say he also studied BIT and he also enrolled in 2011. Virginia is studying BIS and she joined in 2012. Okay, and let's put for the other ones study Anna, not Anna, sorry, for let's say this is BIS and she joined in 2012, and Mark, which is number 5, studies BIS and he joined in 2013. Okay, the other information you need to add is the average of their grades so far. So we have to add another predicate. Let's call it average of the grades so far. Maybe we want to see which students are on the way to distinction, for example. So let's put average grades, okay, for the student 1. Let's say that he's 60. Okay, average grades for the student 2, and we say this is 65. Average. Okay, these are all very good students, huh? 3. Let's put one that's 50. Okay, and average grades for student 4, let's put this one 70. And okay, and average grades for student 5, we can say is 58. Okay, so let's save the buffer and compile, make and compile, yeah. Good, so let's have a look in here. We can see that it's compiled properly. Let's try and see what we can query now about these predicates. Great, so let's have a look at our knowledge base. Okay, so we have predicates, students, now region, study, and average grades. So let's print all the data that we have for the predicate study. So of course, as I said before, you can simply add placeholders in the place of all the variables that we have. So if I do that, it will just give me true, no information, because I don't want any information. But if I want to obtain, for example, all the degrees that I have at the moment in the database, you can see that you simply get all of them. As I said, at the moment, this is not going to give us unique values. It will give us all the values in the database, BIT, yeah, for all the degrees. If we want to also get years, we can also add that, and it's going to give us this information. Now, how about I want all the students that study BIT? Okay, so how do I do that? All students that study BIT. Well, the first thing you're going to determine is which predicates to use. So you're going to use the predicate study and, of course, the predicate student. How do you join them? Well, you join them by the common variable. In this case, is the student ID. Yes, because that's the foreign field or the field with which you can join these two predicates. So you're going to say, I want all the students, okay, with a certain ID. Okay, I want their name, so you're going to use a variable. Let's say you don't really want to know where they reside. Maybe you want to know where they are home. What's their home? Okay, and you want these students, okay, with this ID, so you're joining by the ID, to study BIT. And you don't care maybe the year in which they joined. So of course this is going to give you all the students who are studying BIT. If you want to know the students who are studying BIS, you can also do that, all the students that study BIS. Now remember from our last video that we also had a utility function. So this utility function, let me make let me make this a little bit bigger for you to see, but they might not allow me. So I have some, yeah, there you are. So we have some utility functions which allow us to clear the screen. So this is called CLS. So let me now I'll make this window a bit smaller. Yeah, so this is our database. I can make this one bigger as well so we can see. How do I use this particular database? Well, one thing you can do is simply consult. So you say, I want to consult the utility function. Okay, and you'll see this is going to be used. So now you can use the function clear screen, which you have defined in there. Okay, so we've already asked quite a few questions. So we asked, give me all the students in BIT. Now I'm going to add this information in this file. So this query is give me all students who study, in this case is the BIS. Okay, and this is the query. We also said give me all students who study BIT, and of course in this case we had BIT here. I'm going to save it. Okay, what other queries can we give? How about we want to give all the students, so this means give me all students who have an average grade greater than 50. How do I do that? Okay, well, I have to use two predicates. So I will have to use the predicate student, and we are going to join that predicate by the ID with the predicate average grade. So I want to know the name of the student, and let's say we don't care where they are residing, and we don't care, or let me say we want to know where they are from. Okay, and we join this with average grade. So we have to join by the ID. This is the student with this ID. And we need to find the grade. So I'm going to use a variable for the grade. And then I'm going to say, comma, grade greater than 50. So let's see if this is going to work. Yes. It's going to take them one by one. And it's going to print the one that are greater than 50. Okay, similarly, if you want to see maybe the distinction one, I'm not sure whether distinction is greater than 70, you will do the same thing. It says here nobody is greater than 70, and that's right. Okay, but maybe you want to see greater or equal. Okay, that it's okay. Let's have a look. Maybe I didn't write this properly. Yeah. Okay, so we have one student whose grade is equal or greater than 70, and let's clear the screen so we can see that. Now let's copy this so you can have this as an example into your file, which I'm going to send to you. Whew. Maybe let's make this one a bit bigger. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Great, so let's copy this one. And I'm going to put it here. So we said greater than 50, yeah? That was the query. I'm going to save it. Alright, what else can we ask? Well, we can probably ask something like, give me all the students who are in BIT and have grades greater than 50. So this one, BIT student. Well, of course, if you look at your knowledge base, you're going to see here, yeah, that where is the information about the degree? It's in the predicate study. So that means that you have to add the predicate study somewhere here. So you can say, I want the student who studies BIT. And let's say you don't care the year in which he joined. So in this case, we have a joint between three predicates, and the join is done via the variable ID. So we have this student with this ID needs to study BIT. Again, this is a value, yeah? And he needs to have a grade greater than 50. So let's see how many. Well, in this case, only 2 students are given. How about BIS? So we want the student who study BIS. So we are putting the BIS there. And we are going to have 2 of them, which is Mark and Anna. But let's see how many students are in BIS. Well, we also have Virginia. Yes, Virginia is also in BIS. But Virginia's grade is exactly 50. So she's not going to be printed here because we want them, the students with grades greater than 50. Of course, if I was to put greater or equal, we should get all 3 of them, including Virginia. Okay, great. As you can see, this is not too difficult. So what I would like you to do is practice by adding more predicates like this into your database. So add more students, add more regions, add more information about the students that you add in terms of study and average grades, and run similar predicates like I did. Practice, because practice makes perfect. Thank you very much.